Ireland's relationship with the EU has always been one of give and take, in the sense that they've given us a lot, we've gladly taken, but now the time has come for them to take, and we're not so gladly giving. As someone in their early 20s, all I ever remember of the EU was new roads and motorways, the Common Agricultural Policy practically saving Irish farmers, access to one of the world's largest free markets, and not to mention hassle-free travel across the 27 member states. Now, however, it's very different. The finger of blame for austerity has been primarily pointed at the politicians and bankers who some would say brought us there in the first place, with their reckless spending and questionable banking practices. But our European brothers and sisters have also come into question. German Chancellor Angela Merkel occupies a sort of pantomime villain role within the eyes of the Irish, seen as she is as the woman who's championing austerity across Europe, not to mention pulling harshly at the reins to bring Europe back from the brink. The faceless suits of the European Central Bank are lumped in with the IMF as another entity that gets the Irish boiling over whenever the hot topic of austerity is brought up. Emigration is, once again, widespread, and harsh government policies in education, training and development have seen a serious brain drain take hold. The pennies are being minded in the hope that the pounds will look after themselves, and the large-scale lending indulged in by many, not to mention gladly allowed by the banks, has seen people struggle under enormous levels of personal debt. The late Brian Lenihan, Ireland's previous Minister for Finance, was notorious for claiming that we all partied. While the Irish people may have become swept up in their own hype as the nouveau riche of Europe, those supplying us with the means to do so didn't exactly tell us that it was soon going to come to a screeching halt. The recession and the tough measures being taken by the Irish government to combat it, on the order of the IMF and the ECB, are at the top of everyone's tongues around here, with recent collapses such as that of HMV driving home the stark reminder that the worst is far from over. But Ireland's unease at its sideline role in European politics was brewing much longer before the much celebrated Celtic Tiger was put to sleep. Even when the times are good, European treaties were a great cause of concern for Irish politicians, not to mention the government of the day. It all began with the Single European Act, an act which fundamentally changed how Europe was structured, and a subsequent legal challenge which was taken to the Irish Supreme Court by Raymond Crotty, a lecturer from Trinity College, Dublin. As a result, Ireland is the only European member state which must put each European treaty to the people before it can be ratified. And the people haven't always been willing to toe the line with the politicians. Both the Nice and Lisbon treaties were forced to second votes, having been rejected at the ballot box the first time out. These treaties always present the opportunity for the European project to be kicked around like the proverbial political football, with the same three issues rearing their head every time. It's been consistently argued, as the European project draws nearer to political and financial union, that it encroaches on Ireland's right to neutrality, our right to decide our own taxation policy, and our constitutionally enshrined right to the life of the unborn child. While the latter two have remained unchanged, Ireland's low corporation tax rate has been the start of many disputes with our European neighbours. Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy was notorious for being particularly argumentative about it. Given Ireland's dependency on jobs created by multinational corporations, not to mention our reliance on exports, it has been an issue that has simply not been up for discussion as far as Ireland is concerned. Historically, the Irish have always enjoyed the underdog tag. Our sports teams relish it, and we see ourselves as the plucky outsider of Europe. We also enjoy a good villain, probably due to our colonial past. But now that independence is around 90 years old and our links with our British neighbours are far more cordial, we need someone else to point the finger of blame at, and the European Union fits that role nicely.